Saturday morning. No, no, it's like Tuesday. It's not even Tuesday. Let's just watch the video.
With such a sweeping change to the rules for this new edition...
Oh no, what's going on? Alright. Everyone's talking about this morning.
I'm Lewis, and here is everything you need to know about the incredible new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Hi, Lewis.
The action has now moved to the Great Parch in the Realm of Fire, where the Skaven have launched their plan to conquer the mortal realms.
Cool.
Akshi will never be the same again.
I like Akshi.
Engaging in intense tabletop battles in the mortal realms are easier than ever. The old Vanguard box sets have been replaced with Spearhead boxes, each representing a complete and balanced army with its own rules that are available to download for free. Spearhead games are fun, action-packed, and super fast. You can play a game in less than an hour.
I like that.
We won't go into too much detail here, but there are some fundamental changes to get excited about. A new modular approach to the rules means you only have to learn the rules you need when you need them. The rules are now more interactive.
So that is such a smart thing to do from GW. That's one of the things I think that this game does a really poor job of, is onboarding new players. Like, I'm talking to a friend of mine who's getting into the game right now, and it's so confusing trying to talk to them about the rules in the game, because it's like, well, there's core rules, and then there's seasonal rules, and then there's your book rules, and then there's war scroll rules, and then there's all the FAQs and rule changes. So it's like I gave them a core rule book, and it's like, oh, but a lot of this is irrelevant. So modular rules, where it's like, okay, well, you're gonna learn like the corest of rules, and then we're gonna, when we're sort of like really comfortable with that, we're gonna add on this next book, which is like the competitive rules, and then we're gonna add on the season. Like, that's so much better. So I hope that's what they're talking about here.
Giving you opportunities to cast spells or even charge in your opponent's turn.
Whoa, say that
Meanwhile,
again.
More interactive, giving you opportunity. Approach to the rules means you only have to learn the rules you need when you need them. The rules are now more interactive, giving you opportunities to cast spells or even charge in your opponent's turn. Meanwhile, changes to priority.
Stuff going on in your opponent's turn. Like, that's probably a good idea. Like, right now, when it's my opponent's turn can take a long time. Like, let's be real here, right? Like, raise your hand if you've sat for 45 minutes to 60 minutes while your opponent has taken their turn. And you sit there and there's not all that much that you can do. And so I like the idea of using command points in your opponent's turn, like for redeploys and unleash hells and so on. So I could see like more of that happening would be better. Like, for example, it's like, well, it's my turn, I'm going first. So instead of casting spells, so it's like, well, I have 4 spell casts, let's say. But if I want to, I can only cast 3 spells, and I can keep one of my spells to cast a spell that can only be cast in the opponent's charge phase or the opponent's hero phase. Like, that sounds cool to me. Like, I like the idea of like more counterplay going on between you and your opponent over the course of the game. I like that just as a general idea.
Priority mean you'll pay a heavy cost if you want to take that tempting double turn.
Say that again.
Meanwhile, changes to priority mean you'll pay a heavy cost if you want to take that tempting double turn.
This is another really good thing. Like, the idea that this is something I would have promoted. It's like, you can't get rid of the double turn. You have to keep the double turn. But what you can do is you can make it so that taking a double turn either has a cost associated with it, or being double turn has a really big benefit associated with it. So that's cool. I like that.
Turn. Plus, there's more impactful battlefield terrain, streamlined army list.
More impactful battlefield terrain. Right now, the battlefield terrain doesn't do anything, but I'm a little bit concerned that, like, I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Like, battlefield terrain, should it do anything? And like, what would it do? Because how do you not make battlefield terrain more impactful without making it just like a nightmare for balance? Like, what if your opponent has arcane and you have deadly in your side? Like, I'm kind of curious as to exactly what that might actually look like.
Field terrain, streamlined army list building, a more reactive
Streamlined army list building. I don't even know what that means.
command system, and a new underdog.
Say that again.
Streamlined army list build.
Streamlined army list building. I don't really understand what that means. Fewer options. That's what I hear. Fewer options. right? Because isn't that what a streamlined process is one that has fewer like options and fewer decision tree points? It's streamlined. It's like once you kind of decide what you want to do, there's not really a lot of thinking involved. So I wonder what that means. Like, interesting. Fewer options. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I like having a lot of options before I hit the table.
Building a more reactive command system and a new underdog mechanic to ensure nail-biting finishes to your games.
An underdog mechanic. Strange kind of idea. I mean, we've all been playing this game long enough, I feel, where if there is there's always a chance for you to come back and win the game, I feel, in Age of Sigmar. The dice can just kind of roll in your favor. I shouldn't say always. Like, I've been sitting at tables where I've felt firmly in control, and the game has wound up very close, or like I've lost. And big part of this is because of the double turn. So, comeback mechanics, like, I don't even know what that would mean. Like, you can use these command abilities only if you have fewer victory points. Like, I don't even know what that would mean. But I don't know. Sure. I'm not sure how I feel about that for tournament play. It's like, well, I don't actually want to get ahead, because if I do pull ahead, then my opponent is going to get that buff that messes with me, and so I'm actually going to try to, like, not get ahead. I'm going to try to stay behind. I'm going to deliberately give up this objective because I feel like it's better in the long term. I don't know. I would not want feelings like that in the game. I would hate for you to purposefully, like, not win so that you don't lose to the comeback mechanics, if that makes sense. Faction packs, battle tomes, and beyond. Okay.
With such a sweeping change to the rules for this new edition, battle tomes for the current edition of the game will cease to be valid. But
you have known, GW, that battle tomes will cease to be valid when you were writing the FEC book. I have a hard time believing that the FEC book was printed a long time ago and made a long time ago, and that this 4th edition has come since you've released the FEC book. You knew when you released FEC that all these old battle tomes would be useless, but you released them anyway. People who bought the FEC book are going to turn around now and it's going to be useless. What are you going to do for those customers that bought a product from you where only a few months later, like within a year, 6 months maybe, it's become obsolete? How does that make any sense for your player base? If you're a FEC player, let me know how you feel.
But don't worry, every faction in the game will have a faction pack which you can download for free on launch day.
Yeah, I know, but my book is super, super old, so I got my money out of it. So don't worry.
Contain everything you need to play, including war scrolls for your units, battle traits, battle formations, heroic traits, artifacts of power, prayers, spells, and much more. Points values won't be printed in faction packs, but will be available online at launch, meaning you can still use your rules even if points values need tweaking in the future. At its core, Warhammer Age of Sigmar remains the ultimate tabletop fantasy game. Match play fans will find all of the battle plans and tactics from the new General's Handbook included in the launch box, while Path to Glory has been revamped to focus on the progression of your heroes and units as your army gains power. We're super excited about what lies ahead for the Mortal Realms, and we've got loads more to show you.
Oh, please don't. Is this Realm of Ruin gameplay? Do not show Realm of Ruin gameplay in something that's trying to convince me that it's good.
Make sure to keep your eyes on the Warhammer community website for all the latest Warhammer Age of Sigmar news.
Well, here we are. Welcome to Limbo, my friends. Now we have, a few months now of trickled information. I just want it. Gimme now. Like, subscribe, wah.